now, doesn't this look even freaking better? I love how this turned out. All of those Silent Wing 4s, the all blackness of this, and let's just pretend like the ARGB symbol on my 3090 Ti is not there. Zero RGB. It's just pure blackness with a stripe of orange, and I love that. And I love how those cable mod cables are like matching with the stripe going around the case. It's this is exactly my thing. But okay, since last episode I did all of the benchmarks, all of the B-rolls, all of the temperature tests, and so on, and I have a lot of information actually, but before we begin with that, the system booted up correctly. However, it threw me a CPU fan error, which was very quickly resolved. I have a 1-2-3 splitter going from the CPU fan header to the back of the case, where I have both of the bequiet Silent Wing 4 Pros connected, and I connected them both on the 3-pin, like the 4-pin PWM header where 1 pin is missing. So you always need to connect at least one fan to the one splitter cable that has all 4 cables, otherwise you will not get a signal. You need like a toggle signal, so fan header error, that kind of stuff. So quickly just switched the cables and everything was running fine. Then we did all of the temperature testing, and oh boy. So, I have all of the numbers and it's very, very interesting. Doing exactly the same thing at exactly the same settings, and we ran the same CPU-Z stress test and had, first off, all of the fans running at 100%, which is pretty freaking loud, let me tell you that. Oh, first hear it. Yeah, 3000 RPM, but I was expecting that, of course I was. Those fans here are spinning like crazy compared to light wings. However, the temperature ended up being at 76.1 degrees C, and minus the, at that point, 27.2 degrees C room temperature, we ended up at 48.9 degrees C above ambient. This puts it significantly lower than the light wings running at full speed, and this means that the Darkrok Pro 4 has something to work with. It is not maxed out using light wings. Very, very interesting. At that point, we wanted to equalize it at the same 80 degrees C on the CPU. So we turned down the fans to, all of them, to 60% PWM. That's, I believe, 10% lower than we did with the light wings. And after like 10 minutes or so, the temperature ended at 78 degrees C. And just to demonstrate how those two sound, yeah, so we were still not at like an equal temperature on the CPU, so we lowered them even further to 50%. Hear that? And at those 50% PWM, it actually reached 80 degrees C. However, the room was a lot hotter, so above ambient was still not aligned. So we lowered it down even further to 40% PWM on all of the fans. Yes, I know they are all spinning at different speeds. This doesn't make a lot of sense, but bear with me. At that point, we ended up at 54 degrees C above ambient, and compared to the 54.2 degrees C above ambient on the light wings at 70% PWM, we decided that that's okay. And here is what both sound. So yeah, using all black, beautiful Silent Wing 4s revealed that they are quite a lot better than light wings, but we all expected that. But also like the noise to performance difference is quite overwhelming. We can push those down so much and we have so much headroom to work with. So I really hope that bequiet will release like a Darkrok Pro 5 in the very near future, and that we will be finally able to use all of the power that bequiet's new Silent Wing 4 line created. So I'm really stoked to see how that turns out. I am not done. We did a lot of benchmarking using the new Kingston Fury all black 3600 CL17 memory. But before we talk about it, look at the benchmarks. Now, for those who have a photographic memory and remember how the benchmarks were compared to the Lightwing model where we had the Pinnacle RAM in it, this thing is not as good. So when we switched PCs, or when we built the second version, the Silent Base, we switched the Pinnacle RAM for Kingston Furies. And I said, or I presumed, that this new PC will be a bit better. But as it turned out, it is just not. And in the beginning, when I finished the benchmarks, I was a bit stoked. I thought I did something wrong. I double-checked all of the settings and then here and there, and no. And I repeated all of the benchmark multiple times. And no, even in something like Cinebench, the scores were lower all across the board. And there is even like a very strong consistency. In every benchmark, it performed worse. And always a couple of percent, not a lot, really not a lot, a couple of FPS here, a couple of FPS there, but all across the board, min, max, average, 1% low, everywhere, this thing performed worse. I was stoked, and I wanted to find out why, because the Kingston Fury are running at CL17, whereas the Pinnacle ones are running at CL18, both 3600 MHz, so something was off. And I did a bit of research, or like an hours long research, and I finally found a document from Kingston about those RAM. And it was quite hard to figure out which RAM we exactly have, because they have like an army of those, CL16, 17, 18, 19 and so on, different speed, different kits, and I wanted to find the document that is exactly for those RAM. And I found it. Even the serial number is exactly the same, KF436C18BBK2/64, this exact kit. And if you look very closely, very closely, you will see that it is not running at CL17. It is in fact running at CL18. Those sneaky little bastards just took another speed's CL timing settings and pretended like it's for 3600 MHz, because here it says 3600 CL17. So I was assuming that those are running at CL17, but they are not. And Pinnacle, for example, they wrote it the right way. Here we have 3600 running at CL18. The 2222 behind it is exactly the same as on the Kingston one. And I feel betrayed. I was convinced those are better than those, but no, they are not. Those here are a lie. Those are not CL17, period. Ignoring for a second that Kingston betrayed us here, this also now serves as a Pinnacle ad, because as it turns out, Pinnacle RAM is simply better than Kingston Fury RAM. You are welcome, Pinnacle. What a random observation, but yeah, good job, Pinnacle. But this video is not about performance. We just did it for the lols. We wanted to have some numbers, and now we have them, and we did a little discovery along the way. But this is about design, and Silent Wing Pro 4s compared to Lightwings is an entirely different world. This is all blackness, all beautiful black performance as hell. And the light base also has its benefits. The RGB looks beautiful. It's a bit sad that inside a dark base 900 Pro you are not seeing the front RGB like at all. And I believe that bequiet, if they were ever to like upgrade this, I strongly hope that they will do something like, for example, for the Silent Base 802, where you have two separate front panels. So at this point, It's really up to you. What do you prefer, the light bass or the silent bass? I will put 2 comments down below this video and you can decide. Please ignore the performance comparison, that really doesn't make a lot of sense. This is Kingston's fault, and I should have just asked Pinnacle to send me another kit of like the black memory without RGB. That would have been a much better solution, but you know, I didn't want to like stretch it too much there. But if they see the video, you know my address. Anyway, please ignore the performance comparison, but the cooling comparison, that's important. Silent Wings 4s are way better than Light Wings. So yeah, there will be 2 comments down below. Write your stuff underneath it, like the comment, and I will just make a counter, and we will see what is better, the light bass or the silent bass. Yeah, I would just not say it, but we all know which one I would choose. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the series. It was something different. I really wanted to use the 900 Pro as much as possible, you know, give it the exposure that it deserves and work with it, because it's such a complicated case and there is so much stuff to discover. It's just too much, and therefore we had this like longer series so that I can have like a long-term opinion based on multiple builds. Like the review takes 3 or maybe 4 builds, and then I wanted to add more to it to have like a strong opinion. But yeah, very, very good case, but too complicated, way too complicated. Anyway, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to tell me your opinion below. It's very important. We all need to know, is it the light bass or the silent bass? But yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.